and I blocked out for I'm not really sure how long, probably only a few seconds. But I almost drowned, so
Yeah, that's...
after that, even though I wasn't consciously afraid, I had nightmares about it, you know. I see the ocean in my eyes, and I would be like, well, I'm gonna die, and it would just freak me out, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It took years to get over.
I bet that sounds pretty frightening, yes. How about changing dreams? When you're in the middle of a lucid dream, do you find it easier to go from one place to another, or if you just think you want to go someplace you'd like to see and you're just boom suddenly there? I know that's happened for me a few times. Do you do that at all?
You know, it's weird. People talk about like doing a spinning technique and stuff like that, but it really doesn't work for me. It's hard for me to just, you know, pop something into reality or kind of like just pop into a different place completely. So I usually use doors. Like I find a door or I create a door, and you know, I imagine where I want to go on the other side, open the door, and there it is, and I just go through. So that's usually how I teleport if I want to change the dream scene or go someplace else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy way to do it.
Yeah. Well, for me, I kind of blank out of the dream, and then I just blank back in, and I'm right where I want to be, you know. But I have to ask you, have you ever experienced like, this is something I used to experience a lot when I first started out, was, you know, I'd be lucid and I'd see these I don't know, these shadowy things, right? And if I'd go grab it, it would kind of wrap around me like a blanket, and I'd start spinning, and it'd feel like I'd go through a vortex. Have you ever experienced anything like that? Apparently, that's a pretty common phenomena in a dream that people dream about. Yeah. Anything like that ever?
So, I've seen, like, you know, little black shadows and things like that. I don't think I can say that I ever had the courage to run up and grab them. Usually I go in the other direction, so
yeah.
I don't know what would happen if I touched them.
Yeah. That's interesting. So now, I have a few more questions I would like to ask, but I would like to take a little bit, like just a quick 5-minute break, and we'll be back, and I'll ask a couple questions, and then we'll get to some other questions by the people that are in here. Is that okay with you? 5 minutes?
Yeah.
5-minute break.
Sounds good.
Okay, so
all right.
I'm gonna stop here. Anyway, we're back, and so I'd like to get into. I don't know, I just have this burning question, you know. You've had so many lucid dreams for how many years have you been lucid dreaming now in total?
Oh God, don't make me say my age. I don't know, 8, maybe 10 years, something like that.
Amazing. That's just, yeah. So during all that time, you must have run into some of the stuff that people talk about in the beyond dreaming subject, you know, like stuff like astral travels, shared dreaming, or out-of-body experiences, that sort of thing. Have you ever run into anything like that?
Well, you know, I guess I'll start with shared dreaming. I had a few experiences where I would have a lucid dream, and I'd wake up and I'd tell my brother, who's, by the way, a natural lucid dreamer. He has them almost every night, and I would tell him my dream, and he'd say, you know, oh, well, in my dream, this and this happened, and so they would match up in the places where we saw each other in our dream. But then, you know, the stories would go in different directions when we parted ways, and, you know, we thought it was pretty interesting. But, I mean, I'm definitely open to it because of that, but because, you know, it's not perfectly documented, like, you know, neither of us wrote it down in perfect detail. beforehand, or
Yeah.
things like that. I really can't say for sure that I know it's a fact or I know that it happens. I just think that anything is possible. So
Yeah.
I mean, I am totally open to it at this point.
Yeah. And you've
But
never.
I'm kind of the mind that.
Go on.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really believe that it's something you can do just with somebody that you've never really met in person before. I think the only experiences that I ever had were with like two people that are the closest people in my life. So it's a theory, but I really don't believe that you can just do it with somebody that you've never really met before or somebody you don't know very well. That's just my thinking now.
Yeah. Well, when I was 14 years old, I was trying out the internet girlfriend thingy, because I was just a little, teen, right? And I just found out about the internet and all that kind of stuff. And I think I had a shared dream with this girl, and yeah, we never really wrote it down, but I emailed her one day and I said, I had this dream where I was running through this school, and I heard you, and I heard your footsteps, but no matter where I turned, no matter how fast I ran, how many rooms I checked in, I couldn't find you, right? And she wrote back and said, oh my God, I had this exact same dream, except it started, we were in a classroom and you ran out and I went and ran after you, and I ran down all these hallways and looking for you, and I could hear you, but I just couldn't find you. So that kind of happened. That was kind of long distance, so just thought I'd throw that out there. But
yeah,
it's
that's hey, if it happens, it happens. You can't deny it. So
yeah,
I don't know. It could be possible. Like I said, it's kind of something that's unknown, so
exactly.
you really can't be sure about anything.
Yeah, and of course there's a lot of skepticism because there's no real way yet that you can really scientifically document such a thing. You know what I mean? So that's why there are so many.
Yeah.
There's so much skepticism and stuff like that about it. So how about out of body experience? Have you ever woken up above your body at all? Anything like that?
Well, I think, I was already pretty adept at lucid dreaming for a couple of years, maybe 2 or 3 years, and I started having, the sleep paralysis, and I'd get stuck in it, and I would try so hard to just separate myself physically. I was trying to shake my head, which usually will break the sleep paralysis, and instead of waking myself up, I ended up, it's really the hardest thing to describe because I got up and, I look back and there's me still, laying there, and then I look in front of me and there's all of this, stuff and sensory input and pressure all at the same time. And it was really disorienting, and I walked about 5 or 10 steps, and then I just snapped back and I woke up. And at the time I actually had no idea what it was because, I had very limited internet access, and they wouldn't have that type of thing in the school library, so I thought it's pretty sad. I actually thought I had sleep apnea or something, and my heart was stopping and I was dead for a few seconds.
Yeah.
I really didn't know what was going on. I was scared.
Yeah.
And I didn't say anything because I had no health insurance, so I was afraid that my parents would kill me. So and it happened several more times, and each time it was longer and it was easier to handle, and it was easier to walk around and see and do more. And so I just sort of went with it, and when I was about 17 old, I started confiding in one of my friends at my high school about these experiences, and he said, "You know what? I have a friend that you should